What's going on, Nerd Nation? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode number 30. I'm Fox2. Today we're here with the Pirate,
Hey guys.
the whole effing Brian,
I hate when there's no soft toilet paper in the bathroom.
and Topher.
Welcome back.
And he's still Eeyore. Okay. So let's jump right in this week and start talking about what you've been reading. Brian, let's go with you first.
Well, this week, I've let my pile of new comics pile up, and I've been reading a book, but this book is about to air on FX as a TV series. It's a pretty good nerd-type TV show book, and it was turned into a comic book. It is Guillermo del Toro's The Strain. It's a basic, he's an amazing director and also an amazing writer. The book's basically about vampires, but they're not your normal...
Twilight vampires?
Yeah, they're not sparkling in the moonlight. They're not the vampires that we see in Interview with a Vampire. They're not the 30 Days a Night vampires. They're not the True Blood vampires. They're more of an infection. They're hive-minded by like a group of ancient vampires.
So it's
They
like
don't
the
bite.
Blade vampires.
Almost like the Blade 2 vampires, where the things did the predator mouth.
Yeah.
But these vampires have like stingers that shoot out of their mouth and will stab a victim in the neck. And the way they turn you into a vampire is their body is filled with like these worms that will go into the host's body and infect them, and they become part of this hive mind. The book's really good.
Sliver.
Yeah, almost
the
like
fact-
Sliver, or almost like the alien from the movie Dreamcatcher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a part in the book where one of the worms crawls up a dude's asshole. But, you know, with the season coming out, with the first season coming out in 2 or 3 weeks, I decided to reread it. It's an awesome book. You know, there's no pictures. There is a comic book that you can go and find back issues of. But I would highly recommend it because it is like, it's Guillermo del Toro. All his movies have been awesome. Pacific Rim, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy. So you could picture some of that as you're reading this book.
I forgot he did Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a really good movie, even though it was all Spanish. But
I mean it's like almost a post-apocalyptic type book because shit starts hitting the fan. Me being from New York and having this book mainly take place in New York, it makes it a little eerie, I guess, going into the city at night.
what are you talking about? You read Marvel comics all the time.
What?
That all happens in New York.
Yeah, that's true too. But still, it's not like vampires trying to inject you with worms up the butt.
Isn't
Superheroes that no matter what will save the day before shit gets deep, except for that yearly shit where eyeballs are getting stolen and stuff like that. But yeah, I recommend that book, like, highly.
Right on. What about you, Topher? What have you been reading?
I ain't read shit.
Fair enough. On to Pirate then.
Let's see. I started to read. I read the first issue of Punisher: The End, which takes place. Oh God, I think it's like 40 years after he started his reign or some shit like that. Basically, the book starts off with Frank Castle's in prison, and they had to lock him in the worst part of the prison because he was on his killing spree for 30 years. And, basically the setting starts with the guards, the warden the governor calling all the prisons and having them execute all the prisoners, because basically it's about to be like World War III is broken out and, you know, nuclear fallout's on its way, and they don't want the prisoners being let loose in a post-apocalyptic scenario. So they're going through and executing everyone, and they get down to like the final block where it's like just the worst of the worst, and Frank Castle's locked up there, and the bomb drops right when they go in there, and the lights go out, and Frank Castle pretty much kills all the guards, and well, doesn't kill all the guards, saves some of the guards, and there's a fallout shelter under the prison that was designed for the guards, and he lives there with another guy who was a criminal, but he was kind of not really a criminal, like he was kind of just in the wrong place at the wrong time, type thing. He was kind of like his microchip, I guess, in prison, and they get out a year or 2 years after the fallout, and it starts. That's kind of where it starts, and he goes like and now basically it's Punisher post-apocalyptic. So that's where the comic book ended. So I'm definitely going to try to hunt down and pick up the following of those because it started off really good. Another book that I started reading actually this morning was Superman Red Sun, which is like, so far it's like the ultimate what if book, where instead of Superman, Kal-El falling and landing in Smallville, Kansas, he lands in a farm village in Ukraine, and he's grown up, and he's like in the 50s during Stalin and all that, and it's 1953, and he's just like declared himself to the world, and Russia's declared himself to the world as their ultimate weapon, and he still is the same Kal-El, like he still wants to be the savior of the world and help people, and he still always makes the right choice, but he's kind of got other conflictions going with Stalin making him like the ultimate worker, the ultimate symbol of the Red Army, the communist regime, and Stalin basically wants him to take over in his place, but he doesn't want anything to do with that. So, and then everything is exact opposite. Like Lex Luthor is married to Lois Lane, and it's actually Lois Luthor, and he's like the smartest man who's designed to invent something for the U.S. to compete with Superman in Russia. So he creates Bizarro, and there's all kinds of little like scenes where you pick up on flipped, what's the word I'm looking like flipped characters in different places on whether it's in the U.S. or Russia. Like there's a scene where the chief of the police in Russia kicks in a door, and there was an anti-Superman like underground society that, like, I guess freedom, like anti-communist group, and they were printing the flyers. Well, the chief walks in and kills the man and woman in front of their son, and then the son gives them these evil eyes, and isn't scared of them, and watches him kill his parents, and then he shoots the kid in the arm. And then he was talking about this kid and how he stared him down and didn't know what happened to him. Well, then it showed a scene where this kid's like screaming, like with a gunshot wound, and there's like outside and there's bats flying around him. So it insinuates that that's going to be Batman. And it's starting off, and it's going to pick up back into the future of Russia with Superman, but he's kind of like talking about his past at the beginning of the book. It's really good. Like,
is that an older comic?
Yeah, it came out in like 2003. It's just a graphic novel.
Oh, okay.
But it's called Red Sun, and it's really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
it's one of like the top 10 Superman stories.
Right on. Well, I didn't read very much this week either. I read the new Batman Eternal book, which I didn't care for at all.
The art was really bad.
The art was terrible. The story was not that great, like the way that it was written. I don't know. I don't know if this is like a new rotation in the artists and writer. Like, I know that there's several pairings of artist and writer that are kind of rotating through, but if the next 4 books are going to be like this, it's going to be painful to get through them just to get back to the good stuff, because the artwork in this book was just absolutely miserable. I mean, it was not really bearable at all, in my opinion. So I don't know if I don't know where it's going to go from here, but
What's with that name villain that with the chick with the centipede that crawls
I
on
don't even
her
know.
head?
I don't even know what her name was. I honestly don't know, but she looked like some kind of scorpion woman thing. I don't know. And then they had the Batman of what was the Batman of Brazil or something?
Oh yeah,
The Batman of Rio de Janeiro or something like that. And
he looks like a Mexican wrestler luchador.
yeah, he wasn't. It
Fruit
wasn't like.
Batman.
I mean, it just it felt totally third rate and like completely amateur. The way that it was drawn, the way that it was written, the characters, like it just didn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. The other book that I read was Original Sin 4. I also didn't care for it either. I don't know. The books this week just weren't that great. There's some stuff coming out next week, or the day actually that this airs. There's some books coming out that I'm interested in. I think Hulk versus Iron Man from Original Sin is coming out. I'm looking forward to that. I think the next Green Lantern book is coming out. So I don't know. Hopefully, the next round of books are better.
Superman comes out next week.
Yeah, I might
What
pick that up. I'm not sure yet.
What is it?
What's that?
Jeff Johns' Superman run is starting next
Oh
week.
yeah, I'm definitely.
I don't
looking
really
at it.
care for John Romita's artwork though. Like it just it feels half finished to me.
It's a little weird. It's a
I
little
thought Klaus
boxy.
Jensen was doing the artwork in this one.
No,
It's
John
Ramada.
John Romita Jr. is doing
Oh.
the artwork. Klaus Jensen, I think, might be doing the covers or something like that. But yeah, I don't really care for his artwork too much. But if I might give it a try, and if I continuously pick that book up, it'll be solely because of Jeff Johns' writing, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
So
I mean, I've read Ramada as the stuff with Ramada as the artist. He did a Hulk for a bunch of years ago. I mean, I think he did one of the X-Men books a bunch ago. It's not as terrible. Like the Batman Eternal
no, it's not that bad.
was just horrible.
Unbearable.
Not that terrible, but it's I don't know. It's kind of just like, in a way, if you look at art when people are drawing like fight scenes and just like it stands out. Ramada's art isn't bad, but it doesn't just stand out. It gets me excited. It's just like a little boxy, a little bland.
It's
I
very
think
undetailed.
I'm not positive, but I think he did Kick-Ass.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I thought that was Mark Miller.
No, the art.
I'm not sure who did the art on it, but those are the only two books that I read this week. I wasn't really overly pleased with either one, so we'll see what happens next week. But this being a light week with reading, let's jump into the news. I think we've got a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about here, but before we get into any specific news stories, let's get a recap from the whole F and Brian about the event that you went to in New York.
It was a little bit. It wasn't a bad event.
What was it called again? It was
Special edition, New York City Special Edition, or Special Edition New York City. It wasn't. I mean, it was held at the Jacob Javits Center, which holds New York Comic Con, and basically, it was like 15% of what Comic Con was. Like walking into the Javits Center, completely empty, was like a whole new world before you got into the area where they had where they held the event. I mean, it was basically there was no entertainment, no TV, no movies. It was only they had panels, but you didn't really know where these panels were unless you really looked into it. I mean, you had some artists, some young guns, some people, some big guns. I mean, I got some things signed by Ed McGuinness. Oh, one of our prior interviews, Yale Stewart was there. I got some stuff signed by him. Basically, it was for $30. It wasn't worth it to me.
Wow.
It was mostly like, some like people who bought spots, like shops had some toys. There was a lot of back issue stuff, which was good if you're looking for back issues. I mean, there were tons of places over there, but it was just like it started at 10. I probably left at 1:30.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I mean, there was a good amount of people there. So unfortunately, like, you couldn't really talk to artists and stuff because it was such a small area, and there was a bunch of people. Like, because this was the first time they held this event, so nobody knew really what to expect. So everybody went.
Right.
So the few artists that they had there were overcrowded. A lot of people.
So it took a long time
So,
to get
like,
to them, and
Yeah, like and if people went there with their sketchbooks and be like, "Can you do a sketch of this? Can you do a sketch on?" and brought those blank cover comics they sell every once in a while, the ones that just have the title of the book and
Yeah.
it's all blank. They were doing those. You couldn't really sit and like have a conversation with anybody. It was just really tight packed. I mean, I put pictures on the Facebook. You could see, like, just at certain points of the day, people just stopped. Like, it was started drawing out.
huh? That's crazy. I thought it would have been a much larger scale event, not something smaller like that. But that makes sense, though, that, like you said, it's new, so everybody showed up, and because there wasn't very many artists, it was, overpopulated at the artist tables. That kind of sucks. I mean, I'm sure those artists made a ton of money, so I'm sure they're glad they showed up.
I spent $40 alone at Yale Stewart's table. I bought like one of his pictures, a couple of single shot. Like, I bought a couple of these hero single shot
Yeah.
ones did, and I bought a bigger thing. I mean, I spent money, of course. You're gonna spend money. You're gonna see things you like, but just if you go on the Facebook and look at, I posted a photo of the area it was held in. That area alone during New York Comic Con is all artists. Going to this thing, it was only half, like not even, maybe a quarter.
Yeah, it sounds like it was just kind of thrown together almost last minute, really. But
which is unfortunate because going to that, I missed another event close to me called Eternal Con, where it's held is an equal smaller spot, but they have more. It's more of everything, like entertainment, guests and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess next year I'll be going to Eternal Con.
Yeah, unless they maybe post the guest list or something like that in advance for the special edition New York thing or whatever.
Well, they did. They had an app.
Oh,
because
did they?
Run by the same people who run New York Comic Con, like the same company.
Mm-hmm.
They had an app, but like it just with the app you don't really get. They'll show people, but you don't see how big the area is and how crowded it will be.
Right.
It's no different than just seeing like a floor layout from a promoter's website or something like that. It's basically the same thing, just on your phone.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have? What do we have for news today?
Well, they released. Bob Kane is getting a Hollywood Walk of Fame star in 2015.
Now I wonder if they're going to give Bill Finger one as well, since Bob.
No,
that's kind of a joke.
Well, because here's the reason why. I guess in order to get a star, you have to be. It's not. I mean, it is difficult, but it's not as difficult as I really thought it would be. It just has to go before a review committee. Like it has to be presented to them, and then typically it's a third party sponsor has to pay $30,000.
So it's
So
all
if you have
politics,
$30,000,
basically.
yeah, if you have $30,000 and
The
you
right
can kind of
frames.
know the right person, you can get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So there's a huge thing going around too that, and by no stretch of the means should anybody do this, but there's I don't know if anybody follows the Credit Bill Finger for the creator of Batman fan page on Facebook, and they have a website as well. They're already saying, who's going to be the first to deface it and post it type thing.
In
But
no way does
they're
the
not-
comic book nerd nation condone
right,
such activities.
Right. No, exactly. And they're the same way, but they're just like, you shouldn't do this. But if someone was to do this and post pictures, please click here, type thing. Like, so, yeah, but in all, it's kind of weird because Bob Kane seems to always be like 150,000 steps ahead of Bill Finger with, he's getting a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and Bill Finger is just now getting listed as co-creator on a special edition free comic book in July as co-creator. So, I mean, it's a start, I guess, but nowhere near as it.
Even if Bill Finger was getting credited on it, why? Like, why? Batman is, firstly, a comic book character. Hollywood is for movies. Like, there's supposed to be, like, almost lifetime achievement kind of things for a star there. Like,
have you seen
Hollywood,
other people that have Hollywood stars, though?
Yeah, you can get them for radio, writers.
Have a star?
Who?
Does Pee Wee Herman have a star?
I
Or
think
am I
so.
totally making it up?
There's
I think,
there's
yeah, I
a
don't-
ton of people on there that have stars that are just like, what the fuck are you thinking giving this person a Hollywood star?
It's basically like public figures. You know what I mean? I think Marky Ramone, or not Marky Ramone, but Johnny Ramone or Joey Ramone has a fucking star, I think.
and I think that's dumb because you're watering down what it is. Like, as awesome as Joey Ramone and and Batman are, like, I think you need some separation there. You've got a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you've got a Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like, put the music people in the music thing, put TV and film stars in the TV and film thing. Like, Batman is primarily a comic book character. Like, maybe there should be like a comics Hall of Fame. Not only that, but even if that were true, like, it doesn't make sense to me because something like a comic book character, sure, you have the creators, but that character is famous for everything that they've done, over the life of the character, not just because of, who created it. Like, it's not like it, one person who was doing it over the life of, the character and made it what it is. It just seems silly to me to, I don't know, I just don't get it.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. At the same time, it's a money thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we don't know who we're going to give a star to. Anybody else got $30,000? You know what I mean? We can fund it.
Paula Abdul has a fucking star.
Well, oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like, I think that Bob Kane should be recognized. I think Bill Finger should be recognized equally, but yes, the character is today what it is because of all the work that everyone has put into it. However, that opportunity would have never been presented to those people had the foundation not been laid by Bob Kane.
I've got a great idea. We should petition to make a comic book Hall of Fame, and all around it will be not stars. There will be a Walk of Fame, but not stars. They'll look like little comic books instead of a star, and I'll have the person's name in it.
I mean, I'm down, but I don't know where we're going to put it or how we're going to fund it.
Oh, not us.
If
funding.
anybody listening has a couple
petition.
$1 million just laying around, hit us up and we'll put it to good use.
So I have a completely unrelated question. Fox, do you have a dead body on your couch behind you? I just kind of...
No, that's No, that's
That totally looks like an arm back there,
yeah.
doesn't it?
No, not at all. That's a
No, it
blanket
doesn't.
and a backpack. But good try.
No, I'm pretty sure I see an arm and a body.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Hope was hoping for wishful thinking. He's like, man, I'd love to see a dead body in the background of someone's house.
Right?
Like just Reese, just like Twitch or something.
Yeah,
like
because
it's
if
nerves still
I had a
kicking.
dead body, I would keep it on the couch while I was on camera
I
directly
hope
in
you have
front
a
of him.
hammer just in case the dead body becomes a zombie and tries to which would make
You
it
know,
a podcast.
they always say that most serial killers want to be caught, and so maybe this was psychologically you like displaying your kill, like the arrogance of I'm gonna put it on camera and nobody's even gonna notice.
Disneyland
Or
itself.
it's just the fact that you're crazy because, as you can see, that is a pillow, a backpack, and a blanket on the couch.
covering a dead body.
Okay.
Maybe Chris is the serial killer because all he sees is dead bodies.
I think that's probably closer to the case. Maybe that's why he can't ever be here on time to start the podcast. He's finishing hiding the dead bodies.
It's not.
Covering
That's
lime-
not.
He's
That's
taking
not yard
limestone
work
and
going
lining
on.
his house.
That's the dead body in the wood chipper outside that he forgot to close the window. So you don't hear the dead body getting chopped up in the wood chipper.
That could be.
I feel like we're playing Clue now. It's Chris in the backyard with the wood chipper.
Somebody with the camp.
It's Chris in the backyard with the wood chipper. Nice. What else do we have for news?
Hold on a second. We got some spoilers to Age of Ultron this coming week about a couple of scenes we'll be seeing in the beginning of the movie. One happens to be the Avengers. The movie will start off right where Captain America, the end credit left off, where you see Strucker.
Mm-hmm.
The scene will open up with the Avengers attacking that base, and them fighting Strucker, who's using Loki's staff, controlling the Hulk to beat up a dead Leviathan. Now, the Leviathans, if you don't remember from Avengers 1, those big snake monsters with the armor. So he'll have one of those in his possession. He'll be controlling the Hulk, making the Hulk think it's alive, and the Hulk will be beating it up. The rest of the Avengers will be, fighting Hydra, Strucker, and will be fighting Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch at the beginning of the movie. Now, the second scene will happen prior to that, where the Avengers will be having like a little get-together in Avengers Tower, and everybody will be trying to pick up Thor's hammer in that scene, and the only person that will be able to budge it will be Cap. So kind of true to the comics, where we've seen, if anybody's read...
I thought there was several people that have actually picked up Thor's hammer.
There's only like four, I
there
think.
were even like Billy. What's his
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill, yeah.
That guy that was from the 90s, I think Thunderstrike. I think he picked it up at
I
once.
think Hulk picked it up at one point.
No,
Hulk picked it up.
the
No.
Hulk thing was the Hulk. Thor threw his hammer at the Hulk, and the Hulk grabbed onto it and kind of like flew with it.
I don't know about that.
Well, I know he did pick it up in the animated. It was either the animated series or one of the animated films. He did pick it up.
I don't know.
Because there's
There's
a clip
I'm
for
not
it on
too
YouTube.
sure on
I've seen it.
all who the Thor was, but Cap has actually used it as a weapon, like full-fledged, like beat bitches up with it. Never got the powers, never got the cape, never got the winged helmet, but he's.
I thought that was
Yeah.
the deal with.
He's deemed worthy to pick it up. That,
Yeah,
I
but
remember
I thought the deal was that like what's the thing that Odin says, like, he whoever shall hold this hammer shall have the power of Thor.
Possess the power of
Yeah.
Thor.
Right. So
He is the-
theoretically, like, if he picked it up, shouldn't he have the powers of Thor?
That's
I'm
true,
pretty sure
but
it's deemed.
I thought-
it's like worded like a deemed worthy.
I thought Cap did have the powers and everything for a while.
I don't know. I'm not
Briefly.
too certain, but he God damn it. what's the? I don't know what the event. I forgot what the event was. Not Forever Evil. God damn it.
God
There's
damn,
an
that
issue
crossed
like
over to a lot of
sure.
comics. Then.
three years ago where Red Skull's daughter woke up in ancient like some evil like Norse dude who is the god of fear, I think, for Norse, who was I think Odin's brother, and he totally like kicked the world's ass.
I think we're gonna have to come back to this
Yeah.
when we
Next
have a
week,
more
next week
solid.
I'll have more info.
Yeah, we'll do some investigation. If you know the answer to that, leave it in the comments section for sure for this video. But
One time, Loki created
Wonder
a
Woman.
cop. Well, Wonder Woman and Superman both did, but it was like a fucking DC crossover thing. So, meh. Thor created a copy of Mjolnir one time, and nobody could pick it up, but Storm of the X-Men could actually. So, it wasn't Mjolnir, but it was like a Xerox copy.
3D paper printed copy.
yeah. So what?
No,
else?
he actually had the magic dwarves forge it out of the same metal and everything, and had it enchanted the same way and everything. So I mean, it was basically like another hammer made exactly the same way.
What else do we have for news this week?
We have more Avengers stuff. They described that the Avengers will have a new helicarrier, Quinjet. It won't be militarized. It'll be more sleeker, kind of probably what we're used to seeing in the comics. Ultron will have articulated face. Like in the comics, we all know Ultron had that mouth that always stayed open, that glue red. In the movie, he'll have more an articulated face, which was motion captured by what is it? Who's playing him?
Oh, Paul Bettany.
No, that's the Vision.
Oh, right.
Spader.
Oh, James Spader.
Yeah. Well, he'll have a more articulated face. His body will look like if we remember the gun Coulson shot Loki with in Avengers 1, how it opened up and you saw that fire kind of glow. His Ultron's body will rumored to look like that. Like it'll have this red like fire energy look coming out from it. Which I don't know, I guess they're doing more so he doesn't look like just a plain robot with a mouth that's constantly open. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to see it.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts on it so far?
I don't know. I mean, like, I like the menacing look of the Ultron in the comics.
Right.
I mean, Base looks kind of angry. I mean, his mouth is always open, but he always had an upgraded body that whether it had, like, was just plain and simple, straight down silver, or was, like, if people remember the images from the covers of Age of Ultron comic book event, he had like, I don't know, I guess like it more looked like an armor.
Yeah.
And just like a normal body. So I mean, I guess we'll just have to see it. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna look like with his mouth moving.
That could be a huge fail.
They said that the Vision will be 100% Paul Bentley. Like his face and everything will look metal. Will have the metal. He'll have the same green and red like body colors that we're used to him seeing, and they even said that he'll have the yellow cape.
Nice.
So I guess they're not really changing much on Vision, which is good.
Did anybody hear about, to change over to a little different, did anybody hear about the main female star in Daredevil?
Oh, Rosario
Yeah,
Dawson.
yes, she's one of the girls that was in. She's the main chick from Sin City.
Yep, she's the head bitch of the area of hookers that cops don't go. She was also in Alexander as his bitch. He's
Are
Clark
you
Nathan in that movie.
are you excited to see? Are you excited to see Sin City 2?
I don't know. It's been like how long? 10 years?
It's been a long ass
probably around
time.
though.
I mean, a part of me is like this. Sin City 1 was awesome. I need to go see Sin City 2, but a part of me is
It's
also
Frank
like
Miller. You know what I mean? Like
10 years. Yeah, it's Frank Miller, and it looks like it's
Have you seen any
all
of
done the same way.
Have you seen any of the trailers for it or anything?
One. I think
They're-
They're good. It looks. I mean, it looks good. It look in my mind, it looked potentially more exciting than the first one.
To me, like it's not that I don't want to go see it because it looks bad. It's just been like 10 years. Do I really care about it anymore? I mean, just the same thing. Like I liked Independence Day, and they're trying to get another one off, and I'm like, that's been so long. Do I really care?
Dr. Dre waited 10 years between his albums, and everybody cared.
Yeah, but I forgot about Dre.
until it came out.
I see what you did. I see what you did there. No, he like to veer wildly away from geek culture and into hardcore rap, but wasn't Dr. Dre like one of the most highest selling rap artists for both of his albums ever? And he only had 2 albums.
Yeah, where the hell did
Chronic was a record breaker, but that was coming out.
So was Chronic
NWA.
2001.
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, didn't that one have Eminem on it too, though? Like that was all shady, or not shady, but Aftermath.
That's when Eminem
Yeah, it's
first
when
started.
he started. It was when he started his Aftermath Records, or after he started Aftermath Records.
Yeah,
But
it was the first first big album off Aftermath, other than Eminem's like second or third. I don't know. I'm not really big, but on that note, they just announced the cast for the NWA movie.
Oh yeah, God,
what
we're making an
Yeah.
NWA movie.
are they
I'm,
really?
I'm actually stoked, but it's probably going to be shitty.
I'm not excited at
They've
all.
only cast Ice Cube's son is playing him. They have an actor playing Eazy-E, and they have an actor playing. They've announced Dr. Dre's actor, but they haven't announced like MC Ren or what was it? Yellow.
Wasn't Ice-T part of it, or am I just not into rap?
No, Ice-T
You're
was
just not into
he was
rap.
not part of it.
I just hope they have time to introduce all the characters in that one before the NWA versus Wu-Tang Clan crossover movie.
On that
Well,
note,
Wu-Tang-
I'm going
Wu-Tang
to
definitely
go ahead and steer this direction wildly away from
Cream,
that.
motherfucker.
Wait, Wu-Tang
And-
there's 4 members.
So, what else do we have in news today?
Well, we didn't finish on the Rosario Dawson.
Yes, that's right. We got sidetracked.
We kind of saw that hot chick running in the distance and went like this. But she was casted as, I guess, the lead.
Yeah, that's what I read.
So it's
That's
being
what?
the lead female.
Oh.
So they're, I guess people are just like, is she playing Elektra?
I was gonna say I hadn't heard.
She's gonna play Elektra. I think she's gonna be some form of love interest for Matt Murdock, though.
That's what I think too.
I hadn't heard that they had announced any kind of character role. They just said that she was going to be like, some woman who wants to help, the community and help clean up Hell's Kitchen, and so that inevitably brings her into contact with Matt Murdock. So I don't know if she's going to be like like a police officer or a some sort of community activist or something. But it sounded to me more like she was just going to be like some sort of normal human, not necessarily some sort of waiting to be revealed superhero.
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna bring Elektra into this. At least not first season. Maybe
I think they would have announced
Towards the end.
Elektra. being a pretty predominant. You know what I mean? I think they would have thrown that. They would have dropped that name in there.
Probably. I would assume that if they're going to do it, it would be something that comes out as a surprise at the end of season 1 or beginning of season 2.
Are they doing a multiple season thing? I
Yeah.
thought they were doing. I thought it was like a limited run, like it was only going to be one season, and then they were going to do one season of Jessica, and then all that was going to be building up to the Defenders. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant by
They got-
season 2 is the Defender, like the Defenders deal, where they're all like all of the first season stuff comes together into like a collaborative second season.
Because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be technically 3 seasons. It's going to be the Daredevil season, the Luke Cage season, and the Iron Fist season, right?
I think
And
Luke Cage is
4 of them.
one season.
There's
I think
4 of them total.
Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
4. They're doing Daredevil, then Jessica.
whatever.
Crap, I can't remember her name.
Jessica Drew.
Thank you. No, not Jessica Drew. Luke Cage's wife.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Wow,
what were
we
the other
failed.
ones?
But anyway,
Guys.
so she's the second. She's the second series. Then they're doing Luke Cage as the third, and then Iron Fist is the fourth.
And then
And
they're
then they're-
all tying together.
And
with
then
Defenders.
they're going to all come together, and the fifth one is
Right.
going to be the Defenders. But like I don't know, they're not going to be like seasons, and I can't imagine them introducing Elektra in somebody else's season.
Right.
But is the Iron Fist and Luke Cage going to be Heroes for Hire, or are they going to be separate?
I'm not sure. I just heard they were each going to be something. I don't know.
They're going to have separate. I mean, I don't know that they're not going to introduce one of the characters, early, but I mean, like, each one is supposed to be a series that features, that focuses on that one particular character. So they are definitely doing a separate Luke Cage show and a separate Iron Fist show. Whether, the characters appear in each other's at some point, I don't know. My impression was that it was going to be more of a individual character, and then they were all going to come together, and instead of Heroes for Hire, it was kind of like the Defenders were kind of going to incorporate all the the Heroes for Hire stuff. I mean, that was what I assumed anyway.
Right on. What else? We got one more piece of news to cover today.
They have said for Arrow season 3.
Jessica Jones. God damn it.
Jessica Jones. Yeah. They have announced that. Well, there's kind of like this 2 quick things. They announced that season 3 they're going to have Batman characters involved, and Nightwing is one
Season
of them.
3 of what?
And they actually
Arrow.
Arrow.
Okay.
And they've also said that Harley Quinn was supposed to be in the season finale, but they cut her out, so that means they're probably going to have her incorporated in season 3. So that's pretty big. Another thing that they, with Constantine, you see Dr. Fate's helmet, so we're wondering who else is going to be involved in that show as well. I think there's going to be a lot of
Magical characters.
yeah, that's going to be incorporated into everything. So I think CW is going to have some awesome shit coming this.
I'm
this
excited
fall.
to see the season 3 of Arrow with
It's
the
gonna be awesome.
incorporation of some more of the Batman universe characters like Harley Quinn, and I still think, I know we've talked about this before, but I still think that if they include her into the Arrow, which it's pretty evident that they're going to, that you're going to get some degree of reference towards the Joker, whether or not we see him or not,
yeah.
or hear him or what.
I don't
probably
think it's
won't
gonna
see
be.
him,
I think it's gonna
but
be a
I think
hint.
it'll
I don't
be-
think it's gonna be a straight up Joker or Mr. J, because I feel
Oh,
like
I think it'll absolutely. She'll say something to
more-
the effect of Mr. J.
he's more like of a how do I want to describe this? He's more like contracted to the movies and stuff. Like, you haven't really seen any crossover with any of the movie
Right.
heroes or mentioning of them. I think he's gonna be more of them. He's gonna.
I guess.
He's on that.
I don't even
bar.
think they've even said Ra's al Ghul's name fully. I think it's either Ra's or
No, they said
No,
Ra's al
they've
Ghul.
said Ra's al Ghul
Oh, they
several
have said
times.
Ra's al
Oh
Ghul?
yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
he's not. he's not as big as I mean, to us, he's a big character who reads the comic books because he's a big part of the Batman series. But to the movies and TV, they did use him in Christopher Nolan's Batman, but he's not like, I don't see them
I don't think they're going to have a Ra's al Ghul in Arrow. I don't think they'll do that. They'll continuously mention him, but I don't think they'll ever include him.
And I think that's how the Joker's going to be at most.
Right. I don't think we'll ever actually see the Joker. Like, at very, very most, you might see like a figure in the shadows, like during some kind of memory or flashback that Harley Quinn is having, where you're alluded to the fact that is the Joker, but I don't think that he's going to play any kind of pivotal role. I don't think you're even going to see him or hear him.
That if that would be like saying, like, just because they have Nightwing, they automatically have to show Batman or have some reference to Batman. Like, they don't have to have that.
But they probably would.
I don't even think they would probably throw reference to Batman. I'm having a feeling that they're going to keep Nightwing as his own character and his own entity. I'm sure it's going to be, he's from Gotham. You know, his backstory is going to probably have something, but I almost bet they stay away from Batman.
They'll mention it. I think they'll mention it.
They're going to touch it. I don't even think they're going to say Batman. I think they're going to say, like, it. I mean, I don't know. They might have some innuendo that guys like us might pick up, but the average watcher, I think, is gonna take Nightwing as, oh wow, who's this guy? Like, you know, and he kind of reminds me of Batman in a way, you know, and I think they're gonna leave it at that. I don't think they're gonna reference it at all in an obvious way. Like I said, we'll probably catch it and pick it up, but I don't think that the average watcher of Arrow or average non-comic reader watching Arrow would even know what the hell. They're going to be like, damn, this is some new type character I've never heard of. Yeah. It's funny, Dick Grayson, wasn't that like Robin's name or something in, you know, the TV show in the 60s? You know, I think that's going to be more the lines than, hey, that's...
They have... If anybody follows Steve Amell and Arrow, they have shown a picture with him and another actor, and he's hashtagged, you know, Green Arrow, hashtag Nightwing.
Well, they showed him working out. They showed the dude lifting weights in the gym with a Nightwing t-shirt on, and the dude that's supposedly going to be playing him. They did that like...
He's like another CW actor that was on another one of those Vampire Duties or Vampire Diarrheas show. He doesn't look like he would be thrown into a movie.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, Batman's plot for Ben Affleck's Batman is that he's estranged from his sidekick or partner. So are we going to get two different Nightwings? Are we going to get one and mentioned on another show? Or are we going to just get a Dick Grayson?
It's not going to be... The TV show Arrow has absolutely zero to do with anything in the cinematic universe.
Well, yeah.
So whatever happens in TV doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on whatever they're going to do in the cinematic side of things. So,
which I like that because it's so far like it's.
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
Side is there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, and they're like perfectly on track, in my opinion, to make a great television-based universe, like with just, you know, through sitcoms alone. Like, you know, they got Arrow's going to be bleeding into Flash. They've already announced that.
Yeah, I don't think that they need to push the limits to try and be like Marvel and tie the stuff together. I think they're doing fine with their TV stuff.
Well, Marvel's that shit sucks.
And we'll see where it goes from here. But that's about all the time.
Agents of shit.
That's about all the time we've got this week. I'm Fox 2. We got DePirate.
See you guys.
The whole F and Brian.
I enjoy saying doo-doo.
And Topher.
We can tell.
Stay tuned for next week of the Arrow podcast, where we once again promise Topher we'll talk about X-Men Days of Future Past and then don't.
See you. Bye.
Shit.